Imagine a world where the idea of a headquarters, the physical place you have to be, the office you must show up to every single day, just evaporates. Gone. No fixed address chaining you down. No endless commute stealing hours of your life. No cubicles cutting your spirit into small, meaningless pieces. That's not some fantasy tomorrow. That's right now. And for founders, for those who carry the weight of invention and risk every day, it's a revolution that's already shaking foundations you didn't even know were cracked. For years, the myth has been sold loud and clear. Your company needs a headquarters. It's the sacred ground, the command center, the place where all the magic happens. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit out loud. Those headquarters, those buildings, those central hubs, they've become cages disguised as castles. They drain energy, inject bureaucracy, and force brilliant minds into rigid boxes. They promise connection, but deliver isolation. They offer structure, but smother freedom. Every founder knows this pain all too well. The stress of trying to keep everyone in sync when half the team dreads the commute. The drain of rent and bills that don't translate into results. The lost ideas that fade into white noise amid the walls. The battle with managing presence over productivity. The slow death of the spark you had on day one as your vision gets filtered through layers of office politics and outdated routines. Now, what if none of that was necessary? What if the idea of a single headquarters was obsolete, outdated, a relic? What if you could untether your entire operation from geography, bureaucracy, even the suffocating rituals of how things have always been done, and instead build a company that lived and breathed freedom, connectivity, and relentless innovation? This isn't about working from home versus office. It's about dissolving the very concept of where a company lives. Imagine an ecosystem where founders, investors, leaders, and creators aren't bound by walls or time zones, but connected by shared purpose, values, and vision. Where geography doesn't dictate access or influence. Where your best team isn't limited to one zip code, or one city, or one country. Where your allies are not those who exist under your building's roof, but the few who burn with the same fire no matter where in the world they stand. This is possible. Because behind the scenes, technology and the changing mindset of work are smashing old barriers. Tools that let us collaborate in real time, make decisions instantly, build trust without handshakes, and create culture without shared coffee breaks are not just nice extras. They're essential infrastructure for the next level of company. The kind that expands beyond borders, connects the few who will move mountains, and shreds the tired command and control templates that kill speed and guts. But here's the catch. It's not easy. Not because the tech doesn't exist, but because it forces founders to face what most avoid: shedding comfort, surrendering control, and reimagining leadership and culture in raw, new forms. It asks for radical trust. It demands fierce clarity about who you are and who you want on your team. It requires abandoning the illusion of safety a headquarters provides and leaning into the unknown, the chaos that comes with real freedom. And yes, that's terrifying. But imagine something else, the alternative. Continuing to pour endless resources into fancy offices, sprawling overhead, managing distractions instead of creativity, tying your company growth to physical space and outdated norms. Stuck in a death spiral of trying to fake presence with Zoom calls, forced rituals, and monitoring schedules. Watching your best talent leave to find freedom elsewhere. Burning out underneath the weight of where, instead of owning why you exist and how you change the game. You don't have to accept that. There's another way, a better way. Where the headquarters is a network, not a building. Where your company is a living thing, a constellation of exceptional people connected by something deeper than geography or contracts. Where culture is created through shared mission and fierce connection, not forced attendance. Where the rare, the bold, the misaligned brilliance isn't hidden or diluted under fluorescent lights, but amplified with laser focus, ruthlessly curated collaboration, and freedom to be radically different and powerful. Progress doesn't come from building bigger HQs or adding layers of hierarchy. Progress comes from the edges, from those who reject comfort and conformity and dare to become more than what systems allow. founders who refuse to live borrowed lives, who burn rather than bend. Your solution isn't in designing better offices, it's in designing better networks, better ways of being, together without being trapped. Because when the right few intertwine their talents and visions, without walls or addresses getting in the way, that's when the impossible becomes inevitable. This requires a new mindset, not just remote first, but radically sovereign. Not just digital tools, but digital habits. Not just organizations, but tribes of people willing to question every rule, dismantle every outdated assumption, and build new ones from scratch. You must be the ones who stand apart to pull the future closer every day. The power is in becoming untethered, untied to one patch of earth, untied to slow approval chains, untied to outdated expectations that hold growth hostage. Founders no longer need a headquarters because their real headquarters is their network. Their command center is the collective intelligence and fire of their team spread across oceans, cultures, and time zones, bound together by resolve and trust, not brick and mortar. Leaders, imagine your culture born from deliberate alignment, not forced attendance. Imagine every connection a spark, each meeting a magnet pulling potential into kinetic force. Imagine investing your energy only where it counts, in human potential unleashed, instead of managing buildings, leases, parking spaces, or perks nobody values. Imagine the pace, the agility, the fluidity of a team that moves like water, not lumbering like a giant burdened by its own weight. If the system tried to steal your fire by tying you to a single place, it failed. Because the greatest individuals are no longer constrained by geography or outdated structures. They meet each other on the edges, in the friction of difference, in the raw forging of new realities where sovereignty, mastery, and vision are the only currencies. This is freedom in its purest form. Not comfortable, not easy, but utterly necessary. So the question is not if you're ready to forego headquarters. The question is, are you ready to remake what leadership means? To reimagine how power flows? To innovate not just in products or markets, but in the very architecture of your company? Because that is the future, and it's already here. No more renting cages, no more calling offices home, no more dying slow deaths in the name of company culture. The future belongs to those who build networks of rare souls, bound not by place, but by flame. Networks that blaze so brightly, even the shadows of the old world melt away. Founders, investors, leaders, your headquarters is no longer a building. Your headquarters is a mindset, a network of trust, built on relentless clarity of purpose and ruthless commitment to the few who dare to become more. If this message hits a nerve, if you feel that silent fire inside telling you there is a world beyond these walls, then it's time to stop pretending the old ways still work. To burn the rule books, take your sovereignty, and create something new. The maps are gone, the borders are gone, the walls are broken. It's time to move beyond headquarters and into a world where you own your place in the universe, where your team isn't fixed in one spot, but flows like electricity, dynamic, unpredictable, unstoppable. Because when founders stop needing headquarters, they start building the future. And that future? It's wild, free, and waiting for those who dare to claim it.